Ready.
You moved though.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay.
I'm looking at my angle from my phone.
Okay.
I think that yours should be okay.
Yeah? Okay, I set it up especially.
Yeah.
That's fine. Hi, Alex.
Hi.
Nice to see you. Nice to
see
be
you
here.
too. Yeah. Okay, let's
How
start
are you
over. Let's start
feeling?
over. Let's start over. Okay.
How are you feeling?
I'm alright. Doing good. You know, a bit nervous. My first interview, you know.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to start right away. Can you tell me something about yourself?
Okay, so my name is Alex. My real name is Alexandé, but you know, most people call me Alex. Alex 16, whatever. I'm from St. Kitts and Nevis, but now I reside in Holland. I'm doing my bachelor's in creative business. You know, I've spent most of my life in Nevis, 24 years to be precise. I moved here 4 years ago, and now I'm here as a student and pursuing arts.
Wow, that's amazing. And can you tell me something about growing up in Nevis? I think also maybe can you give some more information about where Nevis is?
Oh, Nevis is...
For all the people in Europe who are unaware maybe.
Yeah, Nevis is in the Caribbean. It's a Caribbean island. It's very small. It's actually two islands made of with one flag. So Nevis is the smaller one. I was actually born in St. Kitts, and I lived in Nevis for 24 years. Yeah, it's a Caribbean country. It's close to, maybe the people from Europe know St. Martin, Bonnier, because those are Dutch colonies. But St. Kitts and Nevis is like a British colony, and yeah, nice people, nice food. Sometimes the food is too good because, you know, you eat too much. Nice dancing, and yeah, really hot, nice sunny beaches and everything. I love it.
And you're very positive about St. Kitts and Nevis. Why did you move to the other side of the world? Why did you move to The Hague?
Yeah, I lived in the Caribbean. Oh, by the way, St. Kitts and Nevis is in the Caribbean, in between South and North America, just to get a geographical stance. But I moved here for school. I'm doing my bachelor's degree right now in creative business. I'm basically for school. And to see the other parts of the world. I want to see what's going on in Europe. I want to see what's going on in the States. Yeah, so that's the reason why.
And what was life like growing up on Nevis?
It was fun. I had a lot of fun. Nevis was one of the places where you know everyone. So it's always, you see, in Holland, it's more of like you don't know your neighbor, or you know, you always have your headphones in. But in Nevis, it's more of like you know everyone. So if wearing headphones doesn't make sense because you're gonna talk to everyone you see. As I said, it's more of it's really, I can't forget the time when I got to Holland, and it was really a culture shock for me. It was like mind-blowing to see how different people think, how people do things, how you just go to school and you see someone that you don't know. I wasn't used to that. But yeah, but Nevis on a whole is like, it's a really nice place. It's a really nice place.
And do you have examples of the differences?
Okay, well, for example, as I said, in Holland, you don't know everyone. Like you would go to the stad, the city, and you would see like thousands of people you don't know. Like you don't know these people. But in Nevis, it's more of like, you know, I know that person. He works at TDC. He works at CDS, you know. That's one. Two, we have a very different culture. Like Nevis is kind of a fun culture. Like the music makes it different. How we dance, we go to clubs. Here is more of, you know, cha-cha, jumping around with your hands in the air.
And how do you dance in Nevis?
we call it the walk up. we walk up on each other. Well, obviously, you know. Yeah, we dance. But in Holland, like, okay, for example, I remember I went to this thing called Soca versus Dancehall in Amsterdam, and there were some Caribbean people there, and the way that I saw Dutch people dancing to the Caribbean music, that's not how an island girl will dance. Like they move, they use all their body, their waist is like jello, and I like it. I love it.
And how did did this also influence like the way you look at art and the way you do art?
Well, all forms of art to me connects with each other. So my mind thinks different when I'm painting just because of the way, because I'm a product of my environment. Um, Also, I grew up next to a bar basically all my life. So I've been hearing music since I was a little kid. I grew up in Nevis. I grew up next to Dick's Bar. I grew up next to a bar all my life. When I visit my dad in St. Martin, he lived next to a bar. When I visit my cousin in St. Martin, he lived next to a bar. And I grew up next to a bar in Nevis. So like I've been always hearing music, and just the difference in music, my mind works the same with art. I try to incorporate everything. I try to mix and match, you know. There's this book that I read called Steal Like an Artist. That is basically what like I do. Like I see Van Gogh do this, I see Rembrandt do that, I see Da Vinci do that, and I incorporate it in my paintings. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
So I hear that music and the going out life influenced you, right?
Mhm.
It was all around you all the time in your life. What else influenced you as a child?
Stuff that I watch.
What did you watch?
I watch a lot of Fresh Prince of Bel Air. I want to watch a lot of My Wife and Kids, Naruto, Pokemon. Also stuff that I play. Like I played Pokemon, Mega Man. What else games? I played a lot of games when I was younger. I played a lot of basketball, just different stuff. And other than that, even the games that I've played, like physical cricket, basketball. I grew up playing a lot of different stuff and exposed to a lot of stuff, despite me being from a small island from Nevis. So yeah, it was instrumental in you know where I am today.
And who were you when you were a child in your classroom? So who was Alex in school?
I was a class clown. I was that kid who tried to make a joke out of everything. Um, but to tell the truth, I feel like that was just me hiding my academic insecurities. Like I just needed to be. I wasn't the smartest. I couldn't run the fastest, but I was the funniest. I was the funniest guy in my class, I could say, and girls liked me because of that. So I was like one of the popular kids because of that.
And I thought that was interesting, the thing you said about you being insecure by your academic
Mhm,
capabilities and maybe how well you are in sports or how.
mhm.
Um, was that also a reason for you to like go into art, like try to show people like the things that you are capable of?
Definitely, definitely, because when I was in third grade, I was diagnosed with dyslexia, and it's sad to say that I feel like the educational system where I'm from doesn't cater to people like me who don't learn the same way as everyone else. So in my classroom, I always felt like I was not as smart as everyone. I can't spell as good as everyone. So my art really gives me the opportunity to express myself that I feel like academic people can't do. So like I feel like I have a tool that I can show the world that this is what I can do. I read this book called The Dyslexic Advantage, and it spoke a lot about like how artistic dyslexic people are, and I think that's what really made me feel like I have a gift. It's not that my mind doesn't work. It's just that my brain works differently to everyone else. So because I read this book called The Dyslexic Advantage, I felt like I know now that I know how to use my advantages, I want to share it with the world. I want to show them that, I can paint. I'm a good. And it also speaks about spatial intelligence, which is very important in art. It's a spatial intelligence that makes me paint a tree farther away from a mountain. I don't know if that makes sense to you. Like, it's just you have to have a certain spatial intelligence to understand that a tree should be smaller if it's farther away, and if it's bigger, it comes to the foreground. It's all spatial intelligence. So as I said, this book really brought that to my attention so that I can use it to my advantage.
Nice, thank you for sharing.
Mm-hmm.
And when was the first time that you actually started painting?
Truth be told, I started I think it was last year, August. August. I have to fact check that, but I think it was August or September. I read this book. You're gonna hear that a lot. I read this book called The Artist's Way, and it's a book by not one of my favorite author, Julia Cameron, and she really changed my life. This book is the first book that I've ever read, and this book is also the first book that I've ever read twice. It speaks about how everyone is an artist, how to live an artistic life. Um, it has these exercises that I have to do where I would write 3 pages a day. I also learned about this book because of one of my favorite rappers, J. Cole. He was talking about his journey reading the book. And because of that, it really gave me the courage to take up a paintbrush and paint. It also talks about artist dates, where you go out, you be by yourself in solitude, and you think about, the artist's journey that you want to go on. A lot of different exercises, yeah.
And what is the artist's journey that you want to go on? Do you
Well,
have a vision for yourself?
yeah. Start off as a young emerging artist in The Hague. I want to. My main purpose is to make an art culture where I'm from, because I feel like, especially in the schools, if there was a better art culture, then I wouldn't have resented school how much as I did. In our schools, art and crafts is just like a summer program. It's just like a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
They put a lot of interest and a lot of resources in the STEM programs, which is, I don't know, STEM means stuff other than art. And I feel like there's not an academic passageway for people like me who are very creative in Nevis. So my main purpose of being an artist is to create this culture.
So your vision as an artist is that you want to create an art culture in the place that you are from.
Yes, that's my main goal. That's my main goal.
That's very nice. And why do you feel so passionate about this?
As I said, because I know my struggles in school, and because I know that there is not an avenue for most people who live there. I want to bring this culture that I saw. I remember when I just got to the Netherlands, and you guys have museums, you guys have art fairs, you guys have literal jobs that are artists. I was mind blown. This is also a culture shock for me. Like, you guys have art supply stores, we don't have that. You guys have art fairs, art museums, we don't have these stuff. So, and just the joy that I got from going on my artist journey and finding my true north, I want to give this same happiness to other people. I want my little cousin to look at me and say, but yeah, my cousin is an artist. I want to be that. I want to be someone that they could look at and say, I don't need to be a banker, I don't need to be a lawyer, I don't need to be I can be an artist, or anything that oozes art.
Mm-hmm.
I know that there are some people out there, if you're looking at this interview, that you want to be an artist, you want to be an actor, and when we were younger outside in the in the backyard playing as astronauts and rock stars, no one told us that this was too crazy to think about. But then as we get older, like we're 18, so society puts us into a box, say, oh, you have to go to college to be successful, you have to do this, you have to do that. And I feel like life gets too serious. Like everyone doesn't have to be that. I want to make an avenue for people that, you can just be whatever you want to be. Don't let society determine your destiny. Don't let where you come from determine your destiny. All the actions that we do daily is what makes our future. So we stress so much about our future, but what we do today is what really pushes us to the future. So, yeah.
And what steps are you taking now for your future, for the vision that you have?
Well, I remember a few months ago, I collaborated with a politician from Nevis. Her name is Janice Daniel. Shout out to Janice. She gave me the platform to speak to some young kids about like my creativity and why I think that it's important. We have some stuff planned for the future. So I think that it was a big step just to go through it so that I can, think about what can I do better. Um, and that was a big step for me. Honestly, it really made me feel like, there's not a better feeling than feeling like your goals or your vision is being played out in front of you. So Janice gave me this platform where I can speak to little kids about creativity and why I think it's important. And other than that, just I took 19 classes um, with this lady called Ellen. Shout out to Ellen. She really helped me. I have a technique coach. Her name is Paula. She helped me. So I'm taking small steps every day that I'm really, 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 really proud of on my artistic journey to get my vision down.
So I wanted to say, so it's all women who are supporting you, I see.
Mm-hmm.
That's wonderful.
I love women.
Huh?
I love women.
Can you, a bit of another topic, but can you tell me something about the art in St. Kitts and Nevis?
Okay. I had this one aunt. Her name is Alexa. She, I think, is the reason why I really thought of art. I remember one time I was talking to her and she told me she always loved art, but she never picked up a paintbrush, you know? And, sometimes my mom would go to St. Martin or like she would go on vacation and I would stay by Auntie Lexa. By the way, this is my favorite aunt. I would stay by Auntie Lexa and she would have paintings there. And I would be like, yo, my house doesn't have any paintings. My mom doesn't care about art. But when I go to Auntie Lexa's house, I'm looking at the paintings and it's very islandy. Like you would see a lady combing her hair, combing her daughter's hair. You would see people on donkeys. Those are stuff that you wouldn't see in Dutch art. Even their still life with fruits are different. The Dutch have this, I forget what the technique is called, but they have this technique where they paint dark and dark and they have really saturated tones that they bring out the colors. Even the still life is different there. Other art, there's this one artist called, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, is Davion. I think so. I remember one time I saw him post on Instagram that he was doing an art fair. And honestly, shout out to Davion because I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. He was posting that he was doing an art fair and he was posting his art. I was like, what? I see him as one of my peers, and I really love when my peers are doing good things because I feel like it pushes me. So he really pushed me to start posting my art, and I felt comfortable. There's this other artist. Her name is Jade. I know, and funny enough, in St. Kitts, I think that she did an art degree or she did some kind of academic pursuits of art, but not in Nevis. Nevis doesn't have that avenue. So, I want to give them that avenue. But the art in Nevis is like, I'm not going to say that, Dutch people or, the Dutch art is better or anything because they have some really good artists and their art is really good too.
Nice. Thank you for sharing.
Mm-hmm.
Who are your inspirations in the arts?
Oh,
Big question.
Yeah, that's a big question because I love all artists, but I'm really fond of. I think it's more of a biased thing because I live in the Netherlands. I love Rembrandt. I love Vermeer. But if I was to say my favorite artist is Van Gogh. I visited the Van Gogh Museum. Oh, don't forget Leonardo da Vinci. I read this book called The Thoughts and Art and Life by Leonardo da Vinci. I read that book. I listened to the audiobook twice. I loved it. But my favorite artist is Van Gogh because I feel like Van Gogh was very rebellious to the norms of the art world. He didn't care about what academic beliefs the Dutch artists have. And I also read this book from Van Gogh. It was called I think the book is called The Letters to Theo, which was his brother. And Van Gogh, I don't know how to really explain why I like him, but Van Gogh is very misunderstood. He was a very misunderstood person. I don't think that people really understand. If you listen to the audiobook, his letters to Theo, you would kind of understand what I mean. But so just some of his paintings, man. Look at the Starry Night. Who in that time, who would think about painting something like the Starry Night? It's an amazing painting. I actually recreated it, but that's content for in the future, so I'm not going to talk about it too much.
Do you feel like you use painting to show who you are and what you are capable of?
Definitely. Like even one of my paintings that I did, I painted. It's called Alone in Nature. It was displayed at the art fair at the Lama Four House. Like that's a very proud achievement for me. I painted this house in the middle of nowhere, and subconsciously, it's like giving the message that I love to be alone. I love being in solitude. It makes me feel good, and I could hear myself think. I can decipher things, and I've always been good at problem solving since I was a little child. So I can't do that when people are around me. Like even when I paint and I'm making content for my Instagram, sometimes I feel like my painting goes out the window when the camera is on. I like the organicness of. For me, painting is a divine practice. So I feel like sometimes when I'm on camera doing my paintings, it feels like I'm doing it for the wrong reasons, you know. But I also want to show the world, so it's like a slippery slope.
Yeah, and I can imagine that you want to feel connected
to my art.
Also the first reasons why you picked up.
Yeah,
the paintbrush.
exactly. That's the reasons why I picked up the paintbrush are still solid today. So sometimes I feel like it's a big disconnect when I have to be doing it for people, but it's almost a shame. It would be a shame if I don't share my creativity with others, you know? I want everyone to feel the same joy that I'm feeling. So I have to. It's almost like I don't want to, but I have to share it with you because then what's the point? It's like a double-edged sword. Yeah.
And you talked about your inspirations in the arts, but is there anyone outside of art that has an impact on your art?
Well, music is an art. As I spoke about J. Cole and why he made me read The Artist's Way. I remember when I was going through sixth form, and there was this one of my best friends up to this day, Lanice Carey. She gave me a pen drive with some pirated J. Cole songs. And before that, I was only listening to Eminem and Lil Wayne, no one else. I remember the first rap album I'm ever listened to in its entirety, The Born Sinner. And I brought this today. I actually painted the album cover, the Born Sinner album cover. It has my name on it and everything. This album was like the best rap album I've ever listened to. It's like man, I don't even know how to explain it. But J. Cole, that's why I know the power of music. I know what music can do. It's almost the same thing as art. I know what the influence music has on the mind, you know? So but I'll just give you guys a little preview. In the future, I'll be doing a little music, but that's for another interview. But yeah, definitely, J. Cole influenced me, even my personality. He influenced the way I look at life. He has a degree in psychology. Many people probably don't know that, but yeah, when it comes to influence outside the art world, I think that J. Cole, Malcolm X also was instrumental in my confidence. I read this book called The Bibliography of Malcolm X, and I basically saw him come from rags to riches. Malcolm X was a street guy going to jail for selling crack, selling reefers. He went to jail and he sat down and he decided he wanted to change. I think I went through the same process during COVID. It's a very dark time in my life, and that was a time when I read this book, and just like even his religious beliefs, being a Muslim, it just inspired. Not saying that I am a Muslim, but it just inspires me that he sat down and learned everything about something, and he's passionate about it. His confidence to stand up to white supremacy. I am a black guy. Malcolm X even spoke about one time he permed his hair. He wanted curly hair. He didn't like his scruffy hair. And I was the same way. I was the same way. I was insecure about my hair. I was insecure about spots on my skin. I feel like because I heard him speak about how much he hated himself for not liking his hair, it released me from the mental slavery of not liking myself. So Malcolm X really definitely inspired me. And I can speak of Lauryn Hill. My aunt really inspired me. She inspired me definitely to push. I spoke about her, Auntie Lexa. Even not just because she's my aunt, she always believed that I can do better. She was always hard on me when she feels like I'm not, doing the stuff to my best of my ability. So, just these people being in my life and knowing about these people, knowing that the stuff that they do, they inspire me. I decipher right from wrong. They help me be the person that I am today.
And do you feel that the life you had and everyone who influenced you, that also influenced the way you paint or the type of paintings you make?
Definitely. Everything that I have ever encountered in my life affects my painting. I painted this one painting, it's called Rainbow Sticks. Even the name, it's funny because even the name of that painting, people wouldn't understand why it's named that. And also in that painting, right in the middle of the painting, I have a Lapras. It's a Pokemon. But people wouldn't even know that. But that's just me sharing a part of myself. Like, I love Pokemon. And the name Rainbow Sticks comes from the Greek mythology of, there's this person called Kuran, and he had a boat and he was floating on the rainbow sticks. So just small things that I love to hide away. I like to make my art very mysterious so that only that set of people would understand why I did that. Only people who love Pokemon know why I would put a Lapras there. Only people who love Greek mythology know why I would call it Rainbow Sticks. So when I can deepen the mystery of my art, man, that's like the best feeling. It really is. It's a really good feeling.
And how would you describe yourself as an artist? What kind of artist are you?
I am. Most of my early works are landscape art. There's this painter on YouTube that he taught me how to paint landscapes. I don't know his name right now, but most of my paintings was an adaptation of his art. But I love landscapes because I love creating worlds. I love putting. There's not really a tree in my paintings. I'm the one who put that tree there. There's not really a rock. There's not really a fountain, anything. I am the one. I love making worlds because when I was a kid, as I told you, I was always in my room. I used to make buildings with Legos, and I used to set it up like an evil base. And I used to say, okay, under my bed is the underworld. So when you fight on my bed, which is the upper world, basically, and you get killed, you get sent to the underworld. So like I was making worlds in my head since I was a kid. So I love landscapes because it really brings out my artist child, you know. But these days I've been really fascinated in birds.
Mm.
I went on a 7-day stint where I would draw a bird a day. Right, currently I'm painting a bird. I've painted birds in my earlier work. I love owls because they're really cool. I would even go to the forest by myself sometimes and just listen to birds. I want to hear how many different birds I can hear and just stuff like that. So basically, I love landscape and I love painting birds, but I want to learn everything so that I can incorporate. I have paintings in my house that are watercolor, oil painting, acrylic painting, but I'm an acrylic painter, by the way. So I want to learn all sorts of art so that even portrait, right now I'm painting a portrait art of this beautiful lady. I'm not ready to tell you who she is or who. I want to deepen the mystery a little bit, but just this is not a painting, it's a picture, but it's a picture of someone that means a lot to me. Um, and I feel like this is just as good as the Mona Lisa. Like just the thought
Better.
of just the thought behind of who this person is to me and the origin of, you know, this dress was handmade by someone, her accessories were handmade by someone, and just the origins of the painting, it means a lot to me. So yeah, I love all sorts of art basically. But in generally, I am a landscape painter who paints on acrylic. I paint on all different sizes of canvases. Yeah.
And why do you use acrylic?
Well, acrylic was the first. I bought a lot of acrylic paint when I was getting really serious about art. I would love to transfer over to oil paint, but I feel like I have to use all of my acrylic paint before I go to oil paint because then my house is already filled with paints. I have like 50 shades of blue, 5 shades of green, all acrylic. But I think that acrylic is good to start out with because it's very cost efficient for a young artist to learn the technique, to learn how to mix paint, to learn that if you put white in an ultramarine blue, it's gonna bring out the little purples, and if you put white in Prussian, it's gonna bring out the little greens. These are stuff that I figure out by mixing oil paint. I want to say quote unquote wasting the paint. I had to waste paint to learn how to paint. But I saw a quote on Instagram that says the only paint that is wasted is if it's keeps in the tube. So yeah. But I would love to transfer over to oil paint. But it's really expensive also.
Mm.
So if I could get a grant from someone to buy like a set of oil paint, that would be good.
And can you walk us through your creative process? So where does it start?
It starts with a thought. It starts with me thinking I'm gonna paint this. Normally I'll do a drawing, like just to block out, you know, the composition, just to get the horizon down, where the trees are gonna be, the mountains are gonna be, and then I normally tint it with a very diluted cyan, like a burnt sienna. It's like a brownish kind of orangish color. You tint it, and then I put the undertones, the underlaying down. Like, let's say I want a blue mountain, I'll put down the blue, like just not trying to put any details in it. And then slowly I would add details, do my glazing, and I would move things around, take some stuff off, dilute it.
But
Yeah.
how do you know all the steps that you need to take?
As I said, I did 18 classes with Ellen. I did 18 classes with a professional artist. And I think I spoke about my technique coach, Paula. She was very instrumental in helping me. I recreated the Starry Night. And almost every time she works, I would come and show her a picture and she would explain to me, Alex, you need some I remember with this one video I was recording while she was teaching me. She said, variation, darling. And that just stuck with me. Variation. I can't just do one line like this because then it looks too flat. You need a line this, and then you need a longer line. You need a line that's underneath it. I need to understand that everything doesn't have to be so mechanical. Our brains work very mechanical. We love aesthetic stuff that is all straight lines and everything that's in place. But it took a really long time for me to break out of that. But as I said, I am a sucker for YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I learn things really fast. Not to toot my own horn, but I learn things really fast. So when I see someone painting and I see the process that they have, I'm gonna copy it and I'm gonna implement my findings and iterate it how I want to make it my own style, you know? Yeah.
So you're a painter, you're a fast learner. What are other talents that you have?
Oh man, I'm really good at rapping. I'm really good at music. And to be honest with you, I think I can probably make beats, but that's just since I'm in school, I can't really get down to doing all of these things. But the mentality of Alex is that he can do everything that he puts his mind to. And I think that is an artist thing because, as I said, I'm really good at problem solving, and art really is just problem solving. I have all these different shades of blue, as I told you, but how do I put this on the canvas to make it look three-dimensional? It's all problem solving. So I'm really good at music. I'm a really good dancer. um, not to toot my own horn. I hate talking about these stuff because it feels weird, but I'm really good at like people. I have good people skills. I'm really I actually read three or four books about emotional intelligence, so I understand the psyche of someone, and I'm really good with explaining stuff. I read this book called Emotional Intelligence. I read this book called Multiple Intelligence. I also read this book called How to Win Friends and whatever. So it's like all of these books really framed my mind to have good emotional intelligence. And I'm also really good at everything. I feel like if I put my mind to it, I'm good at playing video games. I like to ride my bike. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice to see your confidence.
Yeah.
But I think also your drive to want to learn new things and the courage to try new things. It can be scary sometimes.
Yeah, because as I told you, I'm a really competitive person. So when I see someone rapping, perfect example, I would never forget this. Polo G. I don't know if you know Polo G, but Polo G is a young rapper. And me and my cousin Tyrell, he introduced me to Polo G. And just to see where he came from and where he is today, I'm like, yo, I can do this. I can rap. I know that I'm good at music.
Before you even tried it?
Yeah, I was like, I can do it. I know that I can do it. So I made a few songs that I'm gonna let the public hear in the future. I'm gonna try something out. I want to be an artist, if you get it. I want to be an artist who paints, but an artist who
you want to create things.
Yeah, that's just my life. I want to make things out of, like, I would do jewelry, and I think that it's a perfect combination with my creative drive and my uplading that I'm doing right now, my education that I'm doing right now, because it's creative business. So it fits together with what I love. It's like the business part of art. So it's like everything is just synergizing for me, really. Yeah.
You have so many things that you want to do, right? But why did you decide to focus on painting first?
As I told you, I read this book called, it's so funny. I read this book called Thoughts on Art and Life by Leonardo da Vinci, right? And he literally was explaining why painting is a superior art. I don't like to talk about it because I don't want to downplay a poet. I don't want to downplay any other forms of art. But I feel like Leonardo says that the eyes is the window to the soul. So if I can illustrate my feelings through art, I think that the long and short to the story is that I feel like art is a superior art practice. It's a superior practice.
Why?
I can't even explain to you. It's like chemistry. You're mixing colors to create an illusion. Really and truly, when you have a plain canvas, there is no bird on the canvas. You are bringing that bird to life with layers and glazes, and is just like a very divine practice for me. So, painting. And as I said, I feel like painting is like I'm a part of a secret group of people who knows how to paint, So it's like, I
Does
love
that
that.
appeal to you, being part of a secret group of people who
I
possess
mean,
a specific
exclusivity.
talent?
Yeah, exclusivity. Like it feels cool that, that person can't paint, but I can.
Why do you feel that that is cool to you?
Um, as I said, I feel like it's more of social currency. Yeah, social currency. I read this book called Contagious where this guy speaks about social currency. Like, how does it give you status? I would like to say in a society that is like driven by that. The patriarchy is driven by these kinds of stuff. So, it gives me a little oomph
Advantage in life.
to my personality, to my confidence. So yeah.
And little Alex, right? Little Alex, 6 years old, living on Nevis. What do you think that he would think of you right now?
Wow, that's a loaded question. Okay, looking back, I always thought that I couldn't do stuff. I thought that my destiny was set in stone.
Already as a 6-year-old?
Yeah, because I'll explain to you why. Remember, I told you that I was watching Naruto? There was this one character called Neji Hyuga. And Neji was a part of a clan called the Hyuga. And the clan had two branches. The family tree had two branches, the main tree and the side family. And the only job of the side family. This is why I told you that storytelling could really mess with a kid's mind. So you guys should watch what your kids are looking at. But anyway, yeah. So the only job of the side family is that they are in service of the main family. And Neji has some very iconic speeches where he talked about destiny, and he said that his destiny was set in stone. Just because he was born in the side family, his destiny was set in stone that he would only be a side family, but he was always talented. And I always saw myself in Neji. I thought that, yo, I will always just be a kid from Brooklyn. I always thought that my mind was such a small box that is all I would ever be, you know? So I think that the younger me is like this me now is a contrast of the younger me where I thought that I couldn't do anything, where now I feel like, what can't I do?
So 6-year-old Alex didn't expect you to
No.
be who you are today.
Nah, man. Nah. It was like, I felt like it was a completely different time in my life, a completely different mentality. And also, I was a young kid, so it's not even like I'm gonna go too hard on myself, but I was a young kid, so yeah. This is just a contrast of my younger self. But I really do love my growth though. I love that I was there and I can see how things change, because that's how I can tell my story today to people and try to inspire them to believe in yourself, believe that you can do things. The world is designed to not want others to grow. Like, society is set in a way where on social media we see everyone winning and we see everyone doing good things, and we think that we can do it, but we never do. So even going to school, I never thought. I just told you about my struggles in the classroom. Who thought that I could go to school? Not me. Nah, I never thought that I could go to school. And just living that out is proof enough to me that I can do it. I can do it. I know I can. I know I can do it. I can do anything. I know it. I know it. So, yeah.
And in 10 years' time, what do you hope that you have achieved in 10 years' time? What do you want to achieve?
Okay. So, this is a loaded
Or
question.
where do you want to be in 10 years' time?
I don't mind living in still being in Holland. I would love to like live in Greece because I'm a freak for Greek mythology. I love their history. I love their culture. By the way, the same dyslexic advantage book that I read even spoke about dyslexic people and how their love for mythology and made up stuff is very strong because we love being creative. But in 10 years, I definitely would want to have my own art supply store in Nevis. I want to be able to influence the education system that they make an avenue for creative people. Um, I want a platform where I can inspire people of all ages, you know? So everyone who is looking at this interview, when you guys follow me, you're not just following me as a person, you're following my purpose in life. You're giving me the platform that I want to use to better the culture of art around the world. Um, I also want to be now to talk about myself a little bit. I want to be like in museums. Um, I want to have my own style that is talk about like Van Gogh, his impostor style. Same thing with Leonardo da Vinci with the sfumato. I want my own style where it can be studied in schools. I want my legacy that even when I die, my legacy lives on. Because that's how I feel like people live forever. Like Malcolm X, he's passed away, but he lives on forever just because of his legacy, you know? So not even just in 10 years' time, a lifetime, I want my legacy to be Alex, the most creative person in the world. Yeah.
Nice. Can you tell us about a specific piece of art that you are especially proud of that you made?
Yeah, other than all my art, of course. I love specifically rainbow sticks, the same one that I told you had the lapras in it. That painting drove me crazy without a seatbelt. Basically, I was going crazy. If you saw the process, that little the waterfall first was a little river. I was like, oh my gosh, this is not working. And then I made it a bigger river, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't get the stones to look 3D. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna make a fountain. And that also was me putting myself outside of my comfort zone because that's the biggest painting that I've ever made. I always just use maybe some 30 by 30 paint canvases. This was a big painting, and it really took me out my comfort zone. So just to see how it came out, knowing the process that I went through, yeah, I'm definitely proud of that. And it was also a time where I feel like I used my own, as I said, I was looking on YouTube a lot to learn how to paint. I feel like it was also a time where I used my own artistic values. Like my waterfall is very contrasty. It's very white, so it's very bring outish, if that's a word, but it's very contrast brings stuff forward. Contrast draws the eyes to certain stuff. So my waterfall is very contrasty. So like I felt like that was something that I used plain titanium white on it. So like that was my own little thing that I did because I didn't see that anywhere else. Yeah.
So you feel that in that painting you really got to show your imagination,
Yeah.
your creativity.
My creativity, definitely.
And how do you hope other people perceiving or interpreting your work?
I want people to have opinions about my art. I want them to argue with their peers saying, huh, that art, this means that. That's like the best feeling from an artist. I want people to have their own perception of my art. I want people to figure out the little side, little mysteries that I put in my art. I want people to wonder why I did that, wonder why I painted this, I want to evoke emotion from my art. I want people to understand that, you know, everything that you see on this canvas was thought of. The trees, though, how the water is flowing. I want people to wonder what went behind the making of this waterfall. What went behind the making of this tree? Look at the shadows, look at the midtones, look at the highlights. I want people to take their time out to understand what I'm trying to communicate visually. But in all, I love when my art makes people wonder. I like when you wonder about and have your own opinions. Wonder about why did he choose that color, or why did he put a lapis? Why did he put a lapis in it? Why is this painting called River Styx? Like, I want you to question these things. I'm not gonna answer it. You're gonna figure it out. Go on Google, type it in. Yeah. So that's basically what I want people to feel about my art.
And where can people see your art?
My Instagram, basically. I'm currently finishing up school, so I'm gonna be a lot more dedicated to my art business. Um, so I'm currently working on getting my website together. I think that's the main reason I took a big break from Instagram. I think it has been like 2 months or 3 months I haven't posted anything on Instagram, because I had to fall back and envision, because I had people messaging me asking for commissions, and I didn't have anything set up. And I don't like that. I'm a business student, so I know that the organizational part is just as important as the creative part. I need to have a link where people can buy stuff. I need to have a way that people can buy stuff. So, yeah. And I also displayed my art at Bodega Postone. Shout out to Michael for giving me that opportunity. It was displayed there for 2 months. I just finished my exhibition. I also had, as I told you, my art was being displayed at an art fair at Lange Voorhuis in The Hague. So that was a very, that was a proud moment for me. But mainly my art, yeah, is on my Instagram. You can see all my art. And obviously my house.
So you've been an artist now for not even a year.
No, not even a year. No.
But what has been the most challenging thing for you up to now?
Being patient with myself. I think that being patient with yourself, understanding that you are an apprentice to someone who have done this for years. When you look at the Mona Lisa as a reference, Leonardo spent 16 years painting the Mona Lisa. And me spending 2 months on a painting, I feel like I'm not getting anywhere. I'm stressing, thinking I'm a failure. Be patient. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with the learning process. Be patient when you fail and you learn things from failing. Be patient when you mix ultramarine with a little red and it comes out muddy, or a little too purple, a little too dark. Be patient. But as I told you, I think that is my competitive nature that is giving me a stupid thing that I feel like I want to be the best, the very best that no one ever was. So just be patient with your journey as an artist. Love the journey, it's easy to say, trust me. It's, as I say in this, it's really easy, but to do it, and especially when sometimes I get jealous of people who don't have the same drive as me. I get jealous of people who don't have the same ambition as me. You guys probably be living good. You guys probably be, yeah, I'm jealous of people who, how do I say this? I'm jealous of people who have a 9 to 5 and are very content with that. And they're happy with their life that they're living. Me, I'm always trying to push myself to do better. I'm always I feel like, even sometimes I feel like when I succeed, I feel like, yo, what else can I do?
Are you ever content or happy?
Yeah. I think that my happiness comes from the practice of art. But when it comes to, and this is something that's still a work in process, I feel like, for me. But when it comes to like my skill level with anything, I always feel like there is more that I can do. It always feels like there's more that I can do. So sometimes ambition is not a good thing, I feel like.
Well, where do you think it comes from that you always want to do better and always want to do more?
Because people always think that I can't do better, and people always think that I can't do more. I want to show them, and myself obviously, that I can do more. Like, I want to do more. And as I said, I grew up, I don't know if it's a guy thing, but I grew up really competitive. Like, even when I play video games, my armpits used to be sweaty when I was younger, trying to be the best. I want to get the most kills on Call of Duty. I want to score the most points on 2K. it just feels good. And that competitive drive, if I didn't have it, I think that I wouldn't be where I am today. But sometimes it really messes with my mental because I always feel like I want to do more, I want to be more, I want to be the greatest, you know?
I can imagine it being a bit tiring also
It is.
sometimes.
It is. It is. And I mean, at some point you have to let go. At some point you have to let go and just fall in love with the practice, fall in love with the process of being a good artist. I remember when I posted my first art, I still feel like it sucked. You know, because I'm comparing myself with others who have been doing it for years. But when I posted my art and I got the response from like my family and people on Instagram, my friends, I was like, what? You guys really think that this is good? And yeah, so like people who not don't look at my practices from like a personal standpoint, they really do appreciate it. They appreciate my art. They appreciate the stuff that I'm doing. So how I let go is that Alex, you're not doing it for you, in a sense. You know, you're not doing it for you. You're doing it for others who may perceive your art differently, or my music differently, or anything that I do differently. You know. So that's how I really let go. It's more about the quality than the quantity when it comes to art, I feel like. Because the more you do it, the more you practice, the more you paint a feather stroke by stroke, that's the more your hand feels the variation, as Paula tell me, variation, darling. You don't get that from a week of doing it, you know? And it's very frustrating as for someone like me who is very competitive that it doesn't work at the first 5 times, but it's all about practice.
And what would you advise people who see you and might think, I would like that too, but I'm maybe scared to do it? What would you advise them?
Well, first of all, I would tell them to read The Artist's Way. The Artist's Way puts you in a frame of mind to make you feel like creativity is not just a secret society. Everyone could create. Our creator created us, and we, as people who were created, we serve our creator by creating stuff. Everyone can paint. I didn't think that I can paint. I had the confidence to pick up a paintbrush. I didn't think I can sing. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I used to be a pop singer when I was, not a pop, I used to be a gospel singer when I was younger. I have a video, I think I'm going to show it. This video of me, it was a schools in concert and I was singing this song by Jacure. It was Serious Times. This was like my favorite. It was a song called Serious Times. But yeah, anyone could do it. You just need the confidence to paint. You just need the confidence to be an actor. You just need the belief system, the support from others. You just need the push and the drive to create. Even if you're a cook, if you're a chef, anything that is tailored to being creative, go for it. Don't be scared. Don't be scared if your first painting sucks. Yo, my first paintings were sucked. And I was really proud of it because I was like, wow, I actually tried it, you know?
What was the first painting you made?
Oh, it was this painting of, I bought some water paint from Action, and it was this painting of a train, and it had a Heart AM on it. It was a blue train. Yo, it sucked. Well, maybe to me, but it sucked. It really did. It was not, I didn't have any dimension. My skies looked funny. But then I didn't let that stop me. I painted flowers. I gave one of my friends a sunflower painting that I did. It was like, that was one of my more prouder paintings. And each time that I did a painting, I saw myself grow and grow and grow and grow. So yeah, definitely. But as I said, if you're out there right now looking at this interview and you want to create stuff, go for it. Go for it, man. Just try. Don't let society kill your daydream. Don't let them make you feel like you have to be a banker. Don't let them make you feel like you can't be an actor. Don't let them make you feel like you can't do whatever you want to do. Don't let others determine your destiny. Don't let where you live determine your destiny. We are in control more of our lives than we know, you know? Small things that we do, just me picking up that paintbrush is why I'm in front of you today, you know? Just I didn't read a book in 24 years. Just me taking up the artist's way and reading it prompt me to be the person that I am today. So just try things. And if you fail, at least you know that you suck. I used to think that I'm really good at basketball, but my body didn't allow that. I always had backaches. My ankles are not good. I tried, I tried to be a basketballer. I'm not going to make the NBA. So I tried painting. Look at me now, just try it.
And what would you tell your younger self? If he was here with you, next to you?
Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. No one is going to do it for you. And even if they do, it doesn't mean the same if you don't. I would tell my younger self to believe in yourself. Don't not do things because someone tells you can't do it. And I don't know, man. That's an emotional question because thinking about my younger self is like, damn. Just believe in yourself. I would tell my younger self, believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. And I say this to everyone. Your artist, I like to call it him. My younger self, I like to call it Alex 16, and my older self is Alex the Great. But I want to tell my artist child that it's okay to be you. It's okay to be Alex. It's okay to be not like everyone else. Be a leader in everything you do, not a follower. My mom always told me that. Be a leader. It's okay to be you. Let the world adjust to you. It's okay if you don't like that someone is being facetious towards you. It's okay that you set boundaries and people don't like it. It's okay if someone doesn't like you. It's okay if you didn't grow up with the nicest clothes and you have to wear one pants everywhere you go. It's okay. That doesn't determine who you are, What determines who you are is how you think about yourself. If you think that you're a failure, you're going to be a failure. If you think that you can't paint, you're not going to paint. Believe in yourself. Believe that you can do it.
And how were you able to become so confident?
I think, as I said, the influence. J. Cole, he sang about going to college. I tried it. He sang about all sorts of stuff. He sang about how he grew up in the neighborhood. He's so relatable to me because he sang about how he grew up in a neighborhood where everyone was, I don't want to say that, but everyone was gang banging and things were going on around. Like, I grew up in a very gang affiliated place. I used to go to school seeing people get stabbed because of color in their flag. But as I said, I grew up as a very rational kid. Like, I know that was stupid. It's stupid to think that I can't go in a specific area because I'm from an opposite gang. Those stuff are stupid to me, So, yeah.
Well, you come across as very confident to me. So I was just curious. But at the same time, you have this need to show people what you are capable of, right? So it's kind of contradictory of itself.
Yeah.
So you must be insecure as well, because otherwise I don't think you would have that thrive to show people all your talents. So what is your insecurity?
Well, I don't like to call it an insecurity, but I also feel like it would be a lie for me to tell you that I don't have insecurities, I think that my insecurities stem from, like, as I told you, people telling me that I can't do it. And when it comes to being confident, as I told you, when I was 5, maybe not so young, when I was 7 years old, I used to sing in front of big crowds. I used to be where we call this thing convention at church, and all the churches from the island used to be there. And I used to be singing in front of all these people. So from a young age, I've always been confident. I've always been not scared to get in front of a camera. And
yeah, you seem very courageous and fearless, and that you are fine with trying out new things.
But I have to be, I feel like, because then my little cousin Omar and Precious, they need someone, just how I looked at J. Cole and Malcolm X and Lauryn Hill, and they inspired me. If it's not that I'm saying that I'm faking it, but if I'm not confident enough to try things, they probably won't have that person in their life to inspire them how others inspired me, you know? So, and as I told you, I've always been in front of cameras. I'm really good at public speaking. I'm really good at just being out front with people. And it's really caters to now that I'm older, how I use the knowledge that I got from books, from my emotional intelligence to deal with people, you know? So now my confidence was here, but now it's here because I know how others think. I know how they, I understand human behavior a lot more, you know?
Mm. And I also hear in what you're saying that you feel this responsibility to show the people around you, to show your cousins, to show other people what possibilities are in life, right? And that it's maybe greater, the possibilities they have than they might think.
Definitely.
And does that also give you confidence, this responsibility that you, or not maybe confidence, but like the courage to try and do things and show people what you are doing?
Definitely, because I feel like if not me, who? You know? And I come from a place where I feel like I'm not supposed to be here. I feel like I'm not supposed to be. I remember one time J. Cole, he had a interview and he was talking about, oh, he's not supposed to be here. He's from Vietnam where no one knows them, and he put his city on the map. Yo, I come from St. Kitts and Nevis where there are only two high schools, or three. I think they have a private school, but like I feel like I'm not supposed to be here. Like I want to give every perfect example. Byron Messiah. He is an artist. He's an artist from St. Kitts and Nevis, and the way that I remember Byron Messiah performing, and no one was listening. I remember Byron Messiah coming to my village, and I was standing right next to him, and he did a song with one of my friends, Maida. And look at him today. He's like a big artist. He's on billboards. He's doing this. He's doing that. So in my mind, I'm like, yo, Byron is inspiring me to make me feel like, yo, even though you're from a small island like St. Kitts and Nevis, you can make it. You can make it. It's almost like, I don't want to say jealousy, but there's a thin line between jealousy and inspiration, I feel like. Because he inspires me to think like, yo, Alex, you can make music. When I see people painting, I feel like, yo, Alex, you can do this. So just how they inspire me, I want to inspire others. Specifically people who, really, really supports me,
Yeah, and feeling jealousy can also help you in understanding what you really want and desire.
Exactly. And it takes away my ego a lot. I read this book called Ego is the Enemy. And it takes away my ego a lot to admit that I'm jealous, But
you're jealous because you also want this for yourself.
Perfect. And like even going to college, there were two individuals that inspire me, you can say, inspired me to go. One of my friends, Theron Busu, he went to college. And I was like, I'm here thinking that I can't go to college, and we call him Klang. Me and Klang grew up all our lives, and he went to college. Maybe I can do it. Burvis Burke, he's my cousin. He went to college, and he sat me down one day and said, Alex, I think that you can do it. Alex, I think you can go to college. What's the, because I was asking him about how was college and this and that. And he said, Alex, you can do it. Look at me, I'm doing it. You can do it. So as I said, it's all about inspiration. One of my biggest goals in life is to inspire people. When I was young, I had a gift that I can influence people. And I felt like when I was younger, I used it for the wrong reasons. So now that I'm older, I feel like I need to use it for good. I need to inspire people to push for the best version of themselves. I'll give you an example. When I just started high school, I realized that things were different. Everyone was buying lunch. They were buying food. But in my mind, I'm going to bring my food that my mom cooked and eat. But that was like seen as, he's bringing lunch to school? So like, I always felt like embarrassed to eat my lunch. Always. And when I asked my mom for money, we didn't grow up like rich, or we didn't grow up. So my mom would just simply tell me, Alex, I can't do it, I was always an understanding kid. I would be like, okay. So when I got to, I think, third form in high school, I had this group of friends. We call ourselves BB, but Buddy Boys. Stupid name, but yeah. We basically started walking, all of us started to walk with our lunch. But this was something that I subconsciously influenced. Like I was like, guys, let's walk with our lunch. Who cares what they think? Let's walk with our lunch. So we would have a secret name. We would have a secret name for our food. I'm not gonna tell you the secret name, but let's say the secret name is like stuff. So we would come to school like, yo, you have your stuff? We're talking about we're talking about lunch. And just that influence to change the narrative of how bringing your lunch to school is that I orchestrated. That's the influence that I have on my peers. So like, why can't now as a grown man I use it for good? Show people that you can do these stuff in life.
Yeah, so you feel that you have the power to influence
people, yeah, definitely.
And you want to do that by showing people the positive side of creating, and also trying to make this possible in Nevis.
Definitely. And you see, with art, it's a very holistic thing. So art opens the brain to everything else. So when people see that I'm making art, maybe that triggers you to think that, oh, maybe I could be a skateboarder. Just the fact that I'm doing something that is not conventional where I'm from might prompt someone to think, yo, maybe I can be an actress. I have this one friend, she told me that she doesn't like to speak about her creative goals with people who don't understand creativity because she wants to be an actress. But where I'm from, people look at like, what? You want to be an actress? How are you going to make money? Me as a painter, how am I going to make money? So when I got to Netherlands and I realized that there are artists who do this as a professional job, they're making money from art through copyrights and prints. And I was like, what? That blew my mind. It blew my mind. So I want to show people that that's also a way that you have different avenues in life. Don't kill your darlings. Don't kill your dreams just because society says that it's not conventional. Don't do it. It's not worth it. You're not going to be happy. You're not going to be happy. That's the truth. You're not going to be happy if you don't do the stuff that you don't want to do. Be who you want to be and let the world adjust to it. Let the world. What are they going to do? If your mom says that you can't be a painter, show her that you can be a painter. If your mom says you can't be an actress, show her that you can be an actress. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. The more you fail, the more you learn. I feel like. When I fail in mixing colors, I know that I'm not going to mix those two colors again. Simple analogy to explain what failure, how you learn from it,
Yeah, you learn from your mistakes.
Definitely.
Well, thank you so much.
No, I would like to say thank you.
Alex 16 or Alex the Great.
No, I would like to say thank you for taking, the time out of your busy schedule, you and your people for doing your research on me, coming and asking me all these questions. I would like to say thank you, man. Thank you so much. So, and if you're watching this, go to my Instagram. It's Alex16. Follow me and let's make my dream a reality, or our dream a reality by pursuing my passion, and let's build a culture in St. Kitts and Nevis. Peace.